One sec, you guys. What happened? Okay, it's okay. All right. I think. Okay. Okay. Cool. We're back. All right. Sorry about that. I had to restart. Thanks so much for being here. We're back today in C Programming: A Modern Approach, second edition by K.N. King. We're going to be completing chapter 10 in its entirety today, wrapping up the hopefully wrapping up the last couple of programming projects today. If I can get them all done today, maybe not. We might not be able to finish them all, but we'll try our best. What's going on? Where's everybody at? Okay, well, let's get rolling. Okay, we're on number 2. Okay, so modify the. This is C Programming Modern Approach, second edition, chapter 10, programming practice projects. Modify the poker.c program from section 10.5 by removing the num in rank and num in pseudoarrays into main, which will pass them as arguments to read cards and analyze hand. So section 10.5, let's go find that. Here we go. Okay, here's our program. Oh my god. No way, dude. No way am I gonna rewrite all this. All right, I'm gonna be bad. I think I'm gonna skip number 2. No, they're all about poker.c. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we paste it to AI, but let's try it. Let's see if it'll work here. Let's see if it'll work. Sure. You clean this poker.c example from the book. Okay, here we go. AI is so nice. This is what the real vibes are for right here. Wow. Okay, that is poker.c. So if we say CD chapter 10 programming projects, number 2, GCC, shoot, keep fat fingering. What's my error here? Undefined symbol for architecture ARM64, quote, underscore main, reference from initial undefines. Symbol is not found for architecture ARM. What the heck is going on? GCC-O. No. What does this error mean? Cannot find the main when we're compiling. The main here. Oh, that's why I'm on the wrong file. Oof. Okay, 2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. 2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds. Straight flush. 1 of hearts. Those are 1 of hearts. 2 hearts. 5 of diamonds. 7 of clubs. 9 of hearts. 4 of spades. High card. Okay. Okay, cool. That was good. Thanks for that suggestion, whoever that was, to get GPT to use that. So now we need to modify this by moving the num in rank num in rank array and num in suit arrays into main. Okay, so let's take these out and move them into the main function. Okay, then read cards and analyze hand need to take in parameters. So read cards takes in an array right would take in an array, and then num in rank would go into here. So it'd be ranks or be int ranks. Oh, well, would you? Sorry, I'm bad at this. So we take this. Read cards takes in num in ranks, and it takes an int num in suit and an array, right? Num suits goes into read cards. Suit, and then we do the same thing here. This one. Analyze hand takes in this. Okay, so pass them as arguments into read cards and analyze hand. Okay, so I think that'll still work. No. So void too many arguments in the function call. Read cards. Read cards takes in 2 arrays. I got an error there for too many parameters. Expected 0. Oh, I need to compile. Oh, because it's my prototype. If I go piles now. 1 diamonds, 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, 6 diamonds. Straight flush. Cool. I think that works. Let's see. Modified it by removing the external array variables and putting inside main with changed params for the functions. X, we don't really care. Yeah, okay, cool. That was number 2. Not as bad as I thought. Number 3. Number 3, remove the num in rank, num in suit, and card exists array from poker.c program section 10.5. Have the program store the cards in a 5x2 array instead. Five rows by 2 columns. Okay. Okay. So let's take our program from previous. And what we need to do is we need to remove this, and these all together. And cards exists. Okay. So what we need to do have the program store cards in a 5x2 array instead. So read cards is going to get, we're going to have int cards, which is an array of size 5x2, right? And we pass in cards into here. And read cards takes in a cards array. So the rank suit. So we go to the card exists array, which we removed, and we set it to false for that rank in suit. You set it to false. So what would we do here? So then you say for suit, up at the number of suits, so 0 through 4. You set the suits to 0. I feel like we need the card exists array, no? Because if we... So we cards, num cards, 5x2 array, right? So the read cards fills the hand. I don't think we need to do this anymore. We don't need to pre-fill this with zeros. We say while card's red, it's a bad card is equal to false. We'll enter a card. While get char, bad card equals to true. If bad card, printf bad card, ignored and continue. I think we do a continue statement here. Right? So that'll say continue, else if. Now here's where we have to check for duplicates differently. Right? So we would need to say for int I equals to 0 while I is less than the num cards. No. Cards red, right? The card's red. It gets incremented up as we read cards. I++. Open this up. Now what we need to check if hand at index of I 0, right? I and 0, that's going to be the ith row for the 0th column, which is the card value. So if that is equal to rank and hand at 1 I 1 is equal to suit, right? Then what this entails is bad card becomes equal to true. This is a bad card, it's already been read. We break. So then this can go. So then we don't say else if here because we just say if, then if bad card. At this point, we have a duplicate card, right? I don't know. This is kind of confusing me a little bit. I haven't looked. Right. So True. Break. Bad card. So then in our analyze hand, this is going to take in int cards of size num cards size 2, right? Right, so then you say we would have to just do a single loop here for I, right? So int I equals to 0, while I is less than the num cards. We're going to go over our num cards, right? And we're going to increase I, else throughout the whole thing. If cards index of I check for flush. So to check for a flush, we have to see if all the got rid of those though. So to check for a flush, all the same suit, right? So if I'm confused. I don't like how it's. I don't write all this code myself, so I'm trying to learn what's going on. Hand. Oh, we had to get rid of all the array. I might work through this one off stream just because it's such a big. I kind of want to go line by line and see what's going on, but I'm just kind of tired, honestly. I might do this one off. So what 4 says, modify the poker.c program by having it recognize an additional category, royal flush. Ace low. Straight. Ace 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, this is stupid. It all wants you to modify this poker C program. So how the program store the cards in a 5x2 array instead. Each row of the array will represent a card. So the thing is we can't do, so check for a flush. A flush happens if all of the cards are the same suit, right? So if cards index I index 0 index I, because 0 is the rank, and then this is the suit, this column 2. So if that suit is equal to, we need to make sure they're all the same suit. Equal to num cards. Why did it have that before for flush? Because it built the contents. So it's right. It's at we don't want to increase the column. We want to increase the row value to the next column. So why does he have cards? Num cards equals to that. String pairs of 0. So build all the counts. So we're going to loop through the number of cards there are, which is 52. 5 cards. 1 card is equal to what? 5. So many cards you're getting in your hand. So then you're taking each card and num in rank at that index of cards, index I, index 0. So if I go back to this, the num in cards exist. It's removed. But it's saying that we can use I'm gonna give it the whole, because it says we can't use the arrays at all. Oh, there's a global array card exists? No. Here. Okay, so we have straight flush pairs, read cards, analyze hand, and print. So these guys, right, aren't going to have this array in them. This is going to just take in the like int your whatever hand you have, which is going to be num cards by 2, right? And that will also go into here. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong file. Who was that? Thanks so much for the sub, whoever that was. I'm gonna go. Streamlabs. Whoops. Bruce, yo, Raynep. Thanks so much for subscribing, you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on YouTube. Okay, so num cards. So this is gonna take in. Let's do this. Is gonna be hand, right? Let's gonna make this hand. This prototype is what's gonna be taken into here. Okay, so then you have num cards, enter card, card. Okay, so I think that one's done. Hey, thank you so much, Meg Funk. Appreciate you so much. Okay, so then analyze hand. The thing for analyze hand is we need the num in rank and num in suit. Kind of interesting. So it's kind of like it's still suggesting us to use the num in rank and suit arrays locally in the analyze hand. So we don't have to like induce too much. I feel like that's not what the problem's asking entirely. Saying from the poker.c program and store cards in a 5x2 array instead. this equals to. So checking for a flush. And we had 5 counted cards. Okay. So let me go. Let me do. Num in rank, num ranks. And then int num in suit, num suits here. So now I'll check for the flush. I want to do it at num in rank, right at, or no, num in the suit index I. Here's the num cars, that's true for the flush. But before this, we have to do like the frequency counts. So we have to do for less than like the num of cards. We're going to go through all the number of cards that we have. And then what we have to do is go to the num in rank at index of I plus plus num in suit index of I plus plus that. But these are 2 by 2 arrays. So we have to establish these to 0. This is a tough problem, right? But we don't want to use I, right? Because that's just going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and increase this for the value. But we want to increase the value at which our hands have the values, right? So this would be hand index of I, index of 0, and then this would be hand for the index of I, index of 1 for the suit value. And I think that would still be the same for everything else. Ah, shoot. I'm gonna go to cards. We'll pass in the hand into those 2 functions. We'll just rename that for clarity. Oh, because we're having that wrong. Bad card would become equal to true there. Use the undeclarified variable num in rank. Winner. Okay, here. Okay, so this says else num in rank. So if bad card, it's duplicated. Else, we want to save into into hand index rank character, suit character, hand index of the rank character, so 0 or I 0 becomes equal to right? No, hand at index what the heck? Oh, how many cards you've read. Oh, so you put cards read here based on the index of how many cards you've read via the 0 index for the rank value, and then you do the same thing for the suit at the 1. Right, and then you increase cards read. Yeah. So now we're just missing some semicolons here. 120. And so if we do that, that compiles 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds, 6 diamonds, straight flush. Okay. I think that that's that one. Now we didn't get rid of the arrays completely locally in this portion here. So I'm not sure if it wants us to logically do a different way of checking for the classification, which would be a little bit more difficult. I don't really want to do that. If I'm being honest. Hey, what's going on, Jesus? Appreciate you being here. You read this book last semester? That's awesome, dude. How'd you like it? Let me know how you liked it and what was kind of like the style that the professor used. I'm curious to how he kind of taught using the book, and I'm all ears to learn more. Thanks for joining us. Let me go up really quickly. And grab the original program. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now we'll go into 4. I'll paste the original program from 10.5. Now it wants us to modify it by having it recognize an additional category of royal flush. So here we're going to check for royal flush. Okay. So if flush is true and okay, so to do this part, you would just check if you have a straight where all the values start from 10 and above, and you have a flush at the same time. So we'll say royal flush equals to false here. So royal flush is equal to false. Then and this checks for the straight. if straight is true. So if straight, so we'll say this will be an else if straight and flush. So the thing is the straight has to be a specific kind of straight. It has to be, so while rank is less than the number of ranks, so rank is 0, and num in rank at index of rank is equal to 0, we're going to increase the rank value. So we're looping using a rank of 0 and doing how many iterations from the number of ranks? 13. 13 passes. And the num in that rank has to be 0. Meaning that we don't have any values at that value. We'll increase the rank. Now for whatever value rank is currently at when it starts, okay, so it's looping until you find a proper starting place for rank. So if we say if rank is equal to 10 at this point where we start here, we're going to continue loop. We're going to finish out the rest of the loop through the ranks, with this time using a for loop, and only increasing number of consecutive if the num in rank at that value is greater than 0. So then num consecutive, if this is equal to, then we have a straight. So how could we modify this to say that the rank for the starting place so let's just do this. Let's say int rank start equals to the rank value here. So if this is true, we'll say if rank was equal to 10 at this point in time, right, then we also have a royal flush equal to true, right? So whenever the rank stops for its first starting place, where we found, okay, the first value of the rank is here. Now, how many of those ranks do you have? We don't know, right? It's just greater than 0. Now, if you consecutively get 5 ranks of increasing consecutiveness, right, then you have a straight. But if that rank was 10 to begin with, so if the start rank, or the rank start equals to 10, then royal flush becomes true, and straight is also equal to true as well. So if royal flush I mean, I could maybe say I might not even need this. Right. I might be able to say if oh, no, I need the rank start. Yeah, that stays. So I'll put a comment here. So we added this line. Let's get rid of this line here. So rank start equals to the rank. Okay. Now if straight and royal flush, or sorry, and flush and the rank start equals to 10, then we have a case where we print F to say royal flush, I believe. I think that's all we need to do is just identify where the rank start happens for when we're identifying when we're going through to say, okay, now we have our first card was a 10. That's where it started, right? So we have 10 as our rank start, and if we happen to have a straight from that point forward and a flush, it's a royal flush. What's going on? It saved my grade. Nice. This seems like those various checks can be made into functions. Farzadi says, hello, Midnight Simon. What's going on, you guys? Back road, Michael, we are here. Oh, did I get a raid on Twitch? Oh, Midnight Simon, give me a raid on Twitch. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you, Simon, for coming in. Yo, what's up, Jimmy? 3D printer, no. I've honestly wanted to maybe get into 3D printer stuff. I don't really have any experience in engineering physical, like, 3D prints and stuff, anything like that, joints or gears or nothing. No experience whatsoever with that kind of stuff. I think it would be kind of fun maybe to get into, and Raspberry Pi stuff. And so I have, some stuff in the works when I get a little bit more space. I'm currently moving right now. This is my last week in this apartment. So more coming, and big changes coming here soon. Especially in about 4 or 5 months. I'm going to have a little bit of a transitionary living situation until my more permanent living situation. So more to come on that. But yeah, I was hoping maybe that if I get a bit more space in like a garage or something, I could get like a little bit of a, when I get my own garage, I want to have like my own little lab space. I would like to make like a little corner of the garage with like a lab bench, a 3D printer, my computer, some monitors. Maybe I could find like an old lab that's retiring one of their fume hoods or something. I don't know. Or maybe I could just get some sort of custom exhaust system with some sort of like plant grow company or something that they probably offer stuff like that. Or ventilation company. I was thinking about maybe trying to find some old lab equipment and like maybe like larger scale lab devices that were being like retired from like old labs, like testing machines or thermocyclers or all those kinds of more expensive lab equipment for doing kind of microbiology and chemistry. I was hoping to maybe get them on like discount because they were being retired and scrapped or something. Maybe I could find them slightly broken and fix them, and we could fix them up on the stream. Would be kind of fun. I don't know. But I think it'd be cool to like have our own little garage lab where we build like solutions or something, and maybe I can make a small business where I sell solutions of certain kinds. I don't know. I have to figure all that out. All right, let's try this. GCC-O. Use of undeclarified royal flush. Okay, so we need to delete that. I didn't mean to do that. Royal flush. This goes away. So then rank start, undeclarified variable rank start, int rank start here. The print result function isn't getting those values. Guess I'll make a global an external variable rank start. I can remove the integer there. I'll do a note here that I added this line here. So then if I do this and do this, enter card, let's do 10 of spades. Oh, T I think is 10. 10 of spades. Jack of spades. Queen of spades. King of spades and ace of spades. Straight flush. I think it's because it's zero indexed. It's zero indexed, I believe, so we are off by 1. So if I do this one more time and do 10 of diamonds, Jack of diamonds, Queen of diamonds, King of diamonds, Ace of diamonds. Oh! What? Definitely should buy one. It's a game changer. What kind of stuff do you like to print, Jimmy? If you can afford it, buy a Bamboo Labs P2S. If you can't, the Elego Centauri Carbon is only $275 and it's workable. Oh, that's not very much. How much is the other one? Bamboo Labs P2S. What kind of stuff do you like to print? Why isn't this working? I thought we could just add rank start here. Let me go ahead and print F. Ten of spades, Jack of spades, Queen of spades, King of spades, Ace of spades. Rank start is 8. What? Oh, it's double. This sucks. It's doubly zero index. It's not zero index, I guess. It would be uh 2. See, the value of the card 2 is our 0, right? So 10 is our 8. 9 index is our Jack. 10 index is our Queen. 11 is our King. And 12, or the 13th value, is the Ace. Giving you 13 ranks. Yeah, I think that's it. So a little print debugging, we were able to figure that out. We were off by 2, actually, because of the nature of the card deck and how we're indexing them. So if we do that, 10 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, queen of diamonds, king of diamonds, ace of diamonds, royal flush! You said that Python supercharged your work. A 3D printer will be like gasoline. I don't know what I would like print though. What kind of stuff would I do? Like I don't know. Like if it says like gasoline, like what kind of fires am I trying to make, Jimmy? For your to relate to your analogy, what kind of fires am I trying to do? Okay, cool. That was number 4. I'm gonna get some feedback on that one. Let's get some feedback here. Added a royal flush option for rank start if being at the 10. Nice touch, adding the royal flush detection using rank start to 10, which is the 8, which is the 10 high straight, along with the straight and flush. Right now, you assume a royal flush is exactly 10, jack, queen, king, ace, which is rank start equals to 8 after skipping zeros. This works. Okay. Number 5. You can print a split keyb. Oh, a split keyboard. I get real programmer then. Modify the program Polkadot.C program for allowing ace low straights. Okay. So we want to allow for ace low straights. So let's remove first the changes we made. Right? So we want to allow for ace straights. So this goes here. What does that? This doesn't allow for ace straights right now. We find where the rank start goes. We then increase the number of consecutive from then forward. So here was probably where we need to put it. So we're increasing the number consecutive from our rank starting point up until the end of the rank until so let's do this. Let's say if num consecutive is equal to 4 or maybe is less than 5, or maybe we'll say is equal to 4, right? Because this means that let's say that the rank started at the 2 card or the 0 index. So it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then it would stop for number consecutive. So if number consecutive is equal to 4, what we're going to do, and then what we're going to say is, and num in rank at index of 12, right, if we have this value is greater than 0, right, then what we're going to do is do num consecutive plus plus. Now, I might be able to just take this and put it as an OR statement that takes place for this whole logical expression here. So I could go like this. Okay, yeah. So let's try this then, I guess. Dang. So we want to do 2 of spades, 3 of spades, 4 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, ace of hearts, straight. Yes! Right, so now it checks for straights that are ace low. Okay, I added ace low straights. That's the common trick to handle ace low. First, it counts consecutive cards starting from the first non-zero rank. Then if you counted 4 consecutive ranks, 2 through 5, and there's an ace present, num rank index of 12 greater than 0, you increment the number consecutive to the final 5. Finally, you do that detection for number consecutive equal to 5, which is num cards, for declaring a straight. Right here. Perfect, exactly. Nice. Sweet. Should we leave the last 2 for tomorrow because they're long? You can 3D print a robot arm. Google the SO100 robotic arm. Bro, don't be telling gooners in here you can print a robotic arm. Robotic arm, you say? What can we use that for? Bunch of lonely guys in here. Hasn't talked to a girl in like 20 years. What could a bunch of lonely dudes in here use a robotic arm for? What are you trying to get me to build, Jimmy Boats? Chill. Oh, that's funny. 3D print San Francisco. Oh, Jimmy said, you said, I have a fume hood engineering grade filament. I have a fume hood. Engineering grade filaments are super cheap right now. You can print lab equipment. Saw a guy 3D print a microfluidic machine to auto test filled test tubes. Oh, sweet, dude. Can you print a girlfriend? You can print parts of a girlfriend, maybe. Chill. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, we gotta get a 3D printer then. Maybe we could print like, you know, we could print our own like test tube holders and our own all this kind of stuff. That'd be kind of, we should get a 3D printer. That'd be fun to dabble around with on stream. What do you think, Jimmy? Should we do it? Maybe I'll make a goal on the channel. When I stream we'll save up a budget for a 3D printer. Like I'll put a goal for like $100 or like $200, and if we can get to that goal, I'll match it. I'll match whatever goal we make. Starting to think this chess. This just comes with the programming territory, my guy. Let me just read this really quick. Some calculators, notably those from Hewlett-Packard, use a system of writing mathematical expressions known as reverse Polish notation. In this notation, operators are placed after their operands instead of between their operands. For example, 1 plus 2 would be written 1, 2 plus, and 1 plus 2 times 3 would be 1 plus 2, 1, 2, 3 times plus. RPN expressions can be easily evaluated using a stack. The algorithm involves reading the operators and operands in an expression from left to right, performing the following actions. When an operator is encountered, push it onto the stack. When an operator is encountered, pop its operand from the stack and perform the operations on those operands. Then push the result onto the stack. Write a program that evaluates the reverse Polish notation expressions. The operands will be single-digit integers. The operators are plus, minus, star, divide, and equals. The equals operator causes this top stack item to be displayed. Afterwards, the stack is cleared and the user is prompted to enter another expression. The process continues until the user enters a character that's not an operator operand. So you do 1 times 2 plus 3 for that one. Now for the second example, you do 5 times 8 minus 4 divided by 9. So is that kind of how you do parentheses then? Is you put the operator inside of the expression, like in that second example. So that 5 times 8 is a kind of a parentheses around there, kind of inferred or assumed parenthesis. That would give you 40, less than 4, 36 divided by 9. Oh, maybe not. The answer is negative 8. Hold on. Reverse Polish notation, 5, 8 times 4, 9 minus divide equals. Five times 8 goes to 40. 40 Oh, weird. Okay, so you take the 4 and the 9 and do the minus to those two numbers. And then you divide these numbers. Oh, weird. Reverse, this is strange. I've never heard of this before. There are very new startups that have raised millions using SO100 robotic arms and doing training for household tasks. What's up, bro? Hey, no one. What's going on, dude? That sounds cool, Jimmy. You're kind of getting me excited to see what we can maybe do with that and see if we can, like, maybe 3D print some lab equipment and become like a little manufacturing site or something for some niche lab equipment, or I don't know. Be kind of fun. Working out of the garage, huh? That'd be cool. Okay, you guys, so we'll come back tomorrow, I think, and complete 6 and 7. I wanted to show you guys before I go, though, a project I wrote over the weekend. So this weekend, I did some programming. Let me go ahead and push this up real quick. If you guys want, remember all the answers to my problems and my notes are all on my GitHub in that repo, so in the description below. Okay, cool. Let me show you guys what I've worked on this weekend. So this weekend, while my girlfriend was taking a nap, I I wrote this project in Python. It only took me about an hour to write. It was pretty easy, or about an hour and a half or 2 hours to write. It was pretty easy, and I was really caught like a flow state in Python. And this weekend, I was kind of just code. I really didn't query AI at all much. I was really just kind of flowing. I was reading the documents and really kind of trying to understand. So bear with me for this going on, but we have this thing. This is a project I've been working on recently called Poly Whirl. Like the Pokemon. Oh shoot, the chat is way over on the side, you guys. My bad. Oh, that's because of the book. So, oh, whoops. Okay. So yeah, what I wanted to turn this off real quick. There we go. Yeah. Looking forward to getting better on the weather. All right, so this is called Poliwhirl. Um, I named it after the Pokemon um, because, anyway, it's kind of a play on the name of where it comes from. It's not anything to do with Pokemon, but it's just whatever. So, Poliwhirl is this kind of factory or engine or whatever that kind of is this object in itself that calls a bunch of supporting functions and objects and does a lot of supporting, but it's kind of like its own little thing. So, Poliwhirl in itself is just this class that creates users given a certain address. And so this then I have this poly user, which is where a lot of my code is. So a poly user is a user of the poly market. So the prediction market, recent business that's gotten a lot of popularity, Kalshi, poly market, those prediction markets that have gained a lot of traction lately. They're a little bit controversial based on their ethical implications and abilities to insider trade and whatnot, but they are known as the truth factories or whatever. That's their claim to be, not legality issues or whatever, that they are just truth, factories or whatever they call them. So, anyway, it's kind of funny, creative lawmaking that they're going through right now. But, anyways, I wanted to see if we could get sort of some kind of introductory edge feelers for Polymarket APIs and kind of working with them. I think that being that it's a new concept in general, trading the ideas of yes or no on any kind of life event and being able to um, impact those with various decisions live or whatnot is kind of a new phenomena, or not new, it's been around for quite a while, but actually kind of a new, um, we'll say, corporate conglomerate. Anywho, so what this is that I'm just pinging the Polymarket APIs in order to establish classes for each user of Polymarket and aggregate various statistics according to their predictions. And then maybe with those statistics, we could potentially, I think it would be kind of cool to make a dashboard that people could visit online, and you could look up yourself or any other trader on Polymarket via their address wallet ID or whatever, and get an aggregated statistical view, or more of a broken down statistical view of their predictions, and are they actually a good predictor? Are they actually profitable overall? What is their typical style of predictions? Are they accurately predicting the future, or are they just trading? Are they, and then maybe we could sell like ad space on the thing and not monetize. I don't know. Or we could sell like, if you wanted to potentially get notifications for when those people actually made new positions in new predictions, you could get like trackers for those and get like notifications via email or whatever. I'm not sure how that would work. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting, fun new project. Let me know what you guys think as I'm kind of going over it here. But um, like imagine if you want to look up like let's say that you can look up anybody in Polymarket on there and get better more detailed statistics about them, or let's say that you're wanting to sort or look at a specific contract that Polymarket offers maybe, and then sort those contracts by like highest interest or like highest amount of, market cap for that contract or whatever they use to you know, delimit those characteristics of the contracts and predictions. I don't know. I've never done it before. And so I wanted to kind of introduce this before I kind of hopped off for today and show you guys what I worked on yesterday. Each person is their own hedge fund manager, and you're ELO ranking them like chess. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of funny. Like I pretty much like I think it would be kind of fun to um, you can kind of tell based on the data how the person likes to predict. You can tell based on their prediction win rate versus their trading win rate, like the volatility fluctuations of if they realize contracts to their full potential or they, quickly hot potato in and out. You can kind of see, okay, are they getting lucky or are they having some sort of like edge or whatnot? So here's an example. Here's an example. So the polywhirl takes in just this address right here. So this is just my testing file. So I have an address. The polywhirl takes in a list of addresses and returns back a list of poly users. And the poly user right now, I just have it printing for debugging purposes when it goes ahead and makes a user. It goes ahead and prints that user. And then I have a dunder stir in Python here to actually print all of the variables for the person. So what happens here is for this user, I've been looking at his trade specifically because he has quite a big win rate. Let's run this guy. It's running right now. So it does have a little bit of lag because we are hitting some endpoints and creating some classes and stuff. So give it a second here. It's kind of a goofball. There it goes. Okay. We could probably implement some caching in order to speed this up, but for just the original queries, it's okay. So right now you can see the username of this guy for this wallet is dodged a bullet. This is his wallet address. This is the date he joined back in 2024, right? I don't have any current balance right now. I need to get that information. I just kind of been generating a URL for him, a slug. He's taken 1,337 trades on Polymarket via what they have, but the amount of positions that he's closed is 1,508. Now, I'm having a little bit of trouble distinguishing between these two numbers. I'm not really sure what Polymarket means by these values. I'm assuming that a trade is either selecting yes or no, and you can only have you can't duplicate trades because you can't, say yes or no. You can't, pick the future twice or whatever. But I think the resolved. So I think this is like a set of trades. Like each contract or prediction is a trade. Whereas how many positions you bought within those trades, I think is here. So if you have multiple positions of a single trade, I think you can have that. So let's say that you bought the yes 2 or 3 or 4 times for one trade. That's multiple positions. I'm not sure if that's the case. That's what my assumption is, but based on this difference in number here, because this is what the API has given us. So now what I went through is I went through the closed positions, right? I went through the closed positions. And what I did was, as I understood, okay, the user has an outcome prediction that they made, right? The user predicts an outcome. That outcome is either a string of yes or no, right? This cur price with a single R in the JSON object that's given back by the API, this cur price is a floating point value between 0 and 1 for the solidification or the weight of the contract, basically. So if the closer it is to 0, the closer it is to the no value, 0 being no, and the closer it is to the 1 value being yes. So it's like a Boolean gradient of 0 to 1 for yes or no. and anywhere in between is the amount of percentage or the offset between the yes or no, right? So over 50% is more tailored towards the yes, whereas under 50% is more tailored towards the no. And so what I did is I asked if the contract is either 0 or 1, meaning that this trade had this prediction is over, and the user predicted, right, a yes for a contract that resolved at 1, or the user predicted no for a contract that resolved at 0, we have these things called resolved wins and resolved losses. And this was my way on Saturday of coming up with how to track these two types of trades in Polymarket, because you can buy a contract and hold it until it expires, the yes or no, and get paid out that way. Or you can buy a contract and hold it until, let's say, the yes gets swung in your favor a little bit. If you bought the yes, you bought it at, say, 60% for the yes, and now it's at 80% for the yes. Well, now you've gained some implicit value. I think that's the right word to use, within that contract that you can sell for that difference in spread between the yes that you bought originally at, I think is how I'm reading it. I'm pretty bad at understanding like spreads and all that stuff for like sports betting. I've never really dabbled into that. I do like options trading, and there are some spreads in that with things spreads you can do, but it's a little bit not too it's whatever. But I don't do that kind of more advanced stuff. I do more sells and whatnot. But yeah, so you have resolved wins and losses. This basically says, is the user accurate at predicting the future, right? Now what you have is the unresolved prediction. So every prediction that is not either a 0 or 1 for it's a prediction that's over, right? It's just an unresolved prediction that's still going. And these are going to but this is a closed position for the user. So this means that he exited out of this potentially early, but we don't really know how many he exited out early, other than if I were to look at the timestamp maybe, and I don't really want to do that. It just seems like a lot of work, because what happens is if you ping the API in the future and that contract is now still open but just later on in the future, all of the other values will be the same in the API for what the user predicted, but that contract value for what that value is for the contract will be different than what we got in the past pinged to the API, meaning that the contract timer still continues to count down. So let's say, for example, if he bought a contract at the yes at 60% and sold the contract at 80% before it actually realized that a whole 100%, and he was right in the future, right about the prediction. So he just extracted the implicit value or whatever. I can't really capture if he like got out of the contract early or held it to resolution, because that timer continues to click, and there's no like, unless I cached it and then checked again in the future and say, okay, that contract was open and now it's closed, and so he did sell that in the middle of its life cycle or whatever for the prediction. It's kind of a minute statistic that I don't think is too relevant to track. I don't think it is maybe important, but not too, like, it's not detrimental, I don't think. If that makes any sense. So just in recap, you can either hold a contract to resolution or you can sell it early and realize the profit or loss early. Now, if you sell the contract early, right, that's a closed position. So closed positions can have contracts that are completely resolved or contracts that are not completely resolved, meaning that you close them early. But if you close them early, those contracts are still going to continue to resolve in time in the future. And so if you ping the API later, the contract may be resolved already when you actually pinged it to do the aggregation of the statistic, whereas in the past, it was actually still going when he sold it. Make sense? Hopefully. So that's how I'm doing that. And then I also am just doing an if else here for the unrealized or the realized profit being in the positive for he was successful, a win, for a traded win and a traded loss. So this is what we get here, where for this user dodged a bullet under this ID or address, for this URL, he's taken this many trades and closed this many positions. Of those trades that he's taken and closed, positions he's closed, the amount of predictions he's made that were actually right for what the future in like came to fruition, right? He for predicting the future, having his crystal ball, we'll say, his crystal ball rating is fairly low. So that's what I'm thinking is maybe we could give bettors these kinds of ratings, and they could look, you could look them yourself up or other bettors up, and we could potentially give them these ratings. Oh, your crystal ball rating is garbage. You're terrible at predicting the future, but you have some sort of edge in how you get in and out of contracts in that kind of based on volatility, right, or whatnot. So then we have there's a total of unresolved predictions of 173. So out of the closed positions, 173 of those predictions were still ongoing and weren't fully resolved wins or losses yet for predicting the future. But he did close all of those positions and realize a profit or loss. So right, his prediction win rate for his crystal ball prediction win rate is only 21%. He's pretty weak at predicting the future. 21% is not too bad, right? That's still about 1/4 of the way there, right? 1/5 of the way. Um, so you're not terrible at predicting the future. You hit a 1 every 4 times you predict the future, which is a losing rate, obviously, overall. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, you could get everything wrong. But this is kind of just right. So, anyways, next is you have trading wins and trading losses. So these are kind of cool, right? Because the trading wins and trading losses just track if he was profitable, right, positive or negative, right? The realized wins and losses is for him predicting the future. This is actually if he was, successful in winning the trade or not. Now, he was successful in winning the trade about 46% of the time. So, and then he realized a total profit off of this 46%, right, of 23,460 and $61, we'll say. So let's think here. He is really bad at predicting the future. He has about a 50% hit rate, just below 50% hit rate for moving in and out of the contracts early. Right. So he's 50-50 shot, basically, almost a 50-50 shot for if he buys a contract, he can get out of it for a profit. Right? Early before it expires. He can play on the swings. But what's kind of hidden in the data is that because his win rate is below 50% and he still has a realized profit that's quite high, when he loses and he knows he's going to lose, he cuts that thing early. He cuts it early. He does not hold on to it and let it bleed. He somehow is able to realize that this contract is going bad and I need to get out of it ASAP. But he is really good at holding on to his winners for max or close to max value. Right? That's funny, right? Jimmy just says his name is literally dodged a bullet. So it's interesting that maybe that I'm kind of torn. Would you guys say, let's leave it to chat. Would you say he is a algorithmic bettor? He's betting based on algorithms that he's written himself for trading this, for getting in and out of contracts quickly and holding on to winners and cutting losses quickly? Or is he just a trader that's gotten lucky with a hot streak? Now, he might not even have a hot streak really because he has a 46% realized win rate or trading win rate. So he doesn't actually hit consecutive wins over and over again. But the thing that's interesting is his wins he allows to run, whereas his losses he cuts short because he does have a below 50% win rate on the trading side. And his predictions, he's not accurately predicting the future at about a 50% cliff or about an equal 1-to-1 win rate to his predictions. So he's not really holding these to their expiration. He's getting out of them quickly. That's how at least I'm interpreting this data. You guys think it's a Claude bot, open Claude trader? So people thinks that Jimmy says it thinks it's an algorithm trader. Slow thinks it's an algorithm trader or better. See, I was a little bit torn. Part of me thought that maybe he was getting a little lucky because of the low win rate, the less than 50% win rate, the low prediction rate, and maybe was just getting lucky on some polls lately, on some bets. But Jimmy makes a good point. His name is dodged a bullet, right? His name is dodged a bullet, which is kind of interesting because it accurately describes his trading style, in my opinion, as Jimmy had alluded to. He's dodging losses or dodging quite heavy losses barely and holding on to big wins and surviving that way, basically. He's dodging bullets. Now, how long can this keep up for? I don't know. It's interesting. Let's go ahead and feed this to Argipity and get some opinions. Here is the stats for this poly market better. Is it Betor? Better? Better. I think it's Betor. I can't remember. These are the statistics for the poly market better dodged a bullet. I'm trying to determine if he is an algorithm-based trader or has just gotten lucky over the past couple of months. Based on his statistics here, I see that he takes quite a few trades in not so long of a time, just under a year's time frame since he started. He's fairly weak at predicting the future, but he has about a 50%, just below a 50% trading win rate, which means that he's moving out of his contracts before they come to resolution, meaning that his prediction hit rate is fairly low. He's not good at predicting the future. His crystal ball rating is low, but he's able to capture volatility and use those contract swings to his advantage for a realized profit of positive $23,500 about. Now, the thing that's interesting that what someone in my chat brought up is that his name is dodged a bullet. And it's kind of funny because his name dodged a bullet has some similarities to what's being shown in the statistics. He's kind of dodging losses, big losses, quite thinly by, cutting them early and understanding when he needs to cut them early. So he's able to identify losses as soon as possible to maximize his win holdings. Oh my God, it didn't. Oh, that's so frustrating. I need to. go to my sound. It's so stupid. My mic's not hooked up here. Input, Bluetooth device. It's not reading that though. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to do that one more time. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, now it can read me. Okay, it does the waves. Now I know that. Okay. I'm giving you the broken down statistics of a specific better on Polymarket using my script I wrote, Polywhirl. From this trader's statistics, I'm trying to deduce whether he is lucky and not computer based or if it's an algorithm based better. I can infer and tell that his crystal ball rating or his rating for predicting the future is quite low at 21%. So he's not good at selecting predictions that come to fruition. But he has almost a 50% trading win rate, which tells us that he is getting in and out of these contracts before they resolve completely. And because of that, he's capturing volatility in either direction of the yes or no. He's realizing a positive profit of $23,500 about, despite having a below 50% win rate. So that tells me he's cutting his losses short while letting his winners run long. I'm trying to figure out how he could be potentially cutting his losses early and knowing that those are guaranteed losses while being confident in his wins with a below 50% trading win rate. Let's see what it has to say. This is the kind of thing that actually separates gamblers from traders. Here we go. The raw facts. The prediction rate is about 21%. He is objectively bad at forecasting final outcomes. He has a trading win rate of 40%, 46%, which is still below 50%, but he's strongly profitable about 23.5. Yet he makes some money still. You said he's cutting losses short and letting winners run. Maybe, but that's not the only explanation. You're assuming an outcome-based logic. This could instead be edge-based sizing. The key question isn't win rate. The key question is, what is his average win size versus average loss size? So maybe we should look at how many contracts he's buying on average of each position or each trade. And so each position then, and how much average P&L he's realizing on each position. Right? Hey, Formidable Thunder, how's it going, dude? What's going on? If you make a stream called Polymarket Betting Vibe Coding Making $1 million, get it most. Yeah, maybe we should just clickbait real hard here, huh? It's about time we started clickbaiting. We gotta get some. We've been grinding here. You know, last year, in my year and a half of streaming here, almost, over 500 videos of stream, over almost 10,000 hours of, not even that, maybe almost, 2,000 hours of streaming or of coding live here on YouTube. I have made $200. Big bucks over here, boys. If you're wanting to be a streamer, this is not the way to do it. You gotta bait people into doing it. You can't be honest. Nobody likes honesty. Okay, this could be edge-based sizing. The trader can be profitable at 30%, 40%, 45% win rate as long as the average win by the win rate is greater than the average loss by the loss rate. Yeah. He could be losing small amounts frequently, but winning big when volatility spikes. He's arbitraging mispriced contracts and scalping spreads. What his profile actually suggests, he is almost certainly not a directional predictor. This looks like one of those profiles where he's a volatility trader. He doesn't care who wins. He trades based on price movement. He buys the 42 cent and he sells at 47 cents, or he shorts at 68 and covers at 63. He profits from price movement, not event outcome. That explains low prediction win rate. He's not holding to resolution. Modern trading win rate with a positive P&L. He might be placing bids below market and placing asks above market, capturing spread repeatedly. That produces many small losses and many small wins, occasionally larger wins during volatility spikes. The Kelly-style position sizing, even with a 46% win rate, if average win is $120 and average loss is $80, he wins. Win rate alone is meaningless without expectancy. Now let's address your core question. How can he cut losses early while being confident in winners with a below 50% win rate? He doesn't need confidence. He needs positive expected value per trade. Confidence is direction, and direction is irrelevant. If he trades mispriced probability, he trades momentum, he exits based on price, not outcome, he sizes correctly. This is mechanical, not emotional. Important observation. 286 resolve wins versus 1049 resolve losses. That's terrible prediction accuracy, which strongly suggests he does not hold to resolution. His edge is almost entirely in intermediate price movement. That screams a systematic strategy, not intuition. Is this algorithmic? High probability of yes. A lot of trades were taken in a short period of time. A positive P&L sub 50% win rate with consistent execution. What you should calculate next. If you really want to understand him, compute the average win size, average loss size, profit factor, median hold time, and distribution of trade sizes. This will tell you everything. Okay, so that'll be good things to add next. Win rate is beginner metric. Expectancy is what professionals look at. If you're looking at to model or compete with this kind of trader, where is he pricing inefficiency? Is he exploiting? That's the question we should be asking. Right. Okay. So what I think would be interesting is if we were able to identify algorithmic bettors on these sites, and maybe we don't even need to do the hard work of finding out what algorithm and what style or what edge they have. All of the information in the trades are public. So we could just loop through this person's closed positions until we identify a new or open position, until we identify a new open position, and then clone the winning bots. Yes, Jimmy. Exactly. So we could clone potentially the top 5 winning bots on a given day or whatever, or find the top 5 winning bots within some sort of period and clone those and dynamically swap bots in and out based on who is currently the top performing bot. And we could first try it with paper money, and then we could link up an actual Polymarket account and try to make some trades. What do you guys think? Right, Jimmy? I think so too. It's just kind of an interesting idea with being that this whole concept of prediction markets is so fairly new, unregulated, unknown. We might be able to take advantage of the people that are actually know what they're doing in these types of fields, that have studied these kinds of things, statisticians, mathematicians, these people that know these types of things, these longtime bettors that know these spreads like the back of their hand, and sync up with them before things get taken like to the next level and get regulated and get torn down and too much red tape involved. It's just an interesting idea, right? Okay, that's where I think I'm going to end for today. Thank you, Andrew's crew, for following. I appreciate you so much for joining me, dude. You're stealing the meta by having the AI steal the bot logic. Yeah, like I think what would be like, what if we built a site that you could look these people up, and then we integrated a ChatGPT, Claude API, or whatever that would analyze the trader based on a predetermined markdown prompt that we would give it to tailor the prompt to be something similar to what we just had, to where it's trying to determine if it's an algorithmic versus a retail trader, and if it's what it's actually doing under the hood. It could be a pretty cool just in a site in general that also has some actual money making capabilities. We could sell ads on it. We could give people you can look up a certain number of people with the minimum membership. I don't even do a certain number. I don't. But why not first elo to find the winning bots? Yeah, exactly. So we'll just be very small. We'll scale it very small. First, a minimum viable product, something. Just find the top 5 winning bots or whatever within the first this period. Find accounts that or whatever. I'm not sure how we could go through. We would need to, yeah, we'd have to figure out some sort of way to go through and find the most profitable people and determine if they're algorithmic traders or they're just lucky, and then sync up to them potentially. So if anybody's potentially interested in wanting to like work on this with me, I'm all ears and I'm definitely open to that. Again, I don't vibe code. I don't use AI and copy AI code into my thing. I do use AI to learn and to gain more information and to solidify, but I really like writing the code and learning and doing stuff myself. So that is the one rule. Like if you do want to work on the project with me and want to maybe participate, I do have just the one requirement that most of the 95% of the code is handwritten. We're still we're still in the olden days here. I don't know. I just think that it helps. Like so much gets added with the AI that it just becomes really big, really fast, and then just breaks. So by tailoring specific features, handwritten, it's easier to just build up. I don't know. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for being here and joining me. Let me know if any of you guys are interested in wanting to maybe work on this with me. For doing this information. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of go over those statistics that it suggested for additional information: average win size, loss size, profit factor, and median hold time, distribution of trade sizes, etc. And then I also need to go through the open P&L and get that information because I'm not actually getting the open trades right now. I'm just doing the closed ones. Yeah, write a script to use your code and then tell it to profile it with ChatGPT. Yeah, exactly. Like we could create a profiler website that you look up someone on Polymarket, you look up their profile, it tells you what kind of trader this potentially is, all these individual statistics. Like you could ping an AI prompt to give you more information about that trader based on the statistics that it's giving you. Maybe you could potentially pay us to get notifications for when that trader makes a trade, makes a bet, so you can get live feed, right? Or whatever. Maybe we can make one of those Twitters that automatically, tweets out the top, 5 people of the day, doing this kinds of thing or whatnot. So, kind of like unusual whales. You probably want to use it for personal use if it's good. Yeah, maybe we don't want to let other people have it to give it the edge, right? Get rid of our edge, Jimmy. All right, guys. Message me in Discord if you want to talk more about this. I'm really excited about this project. I think it's really cool. I want to see if I can keep building it out and add more statistic tracking, potentially score these traders based on potential factors, give them an overall like weighted score for how like algorithmic they might be. Compared like they're this much like percent like that we are 95% sure that this is a bot. Like we can kind of use these statistics to determine if it's a bot or if it's actual human, based on the feasibility of it being successful or not. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, let me know if you guys have any ideas for features and whatnot and want to join the project. Let me know. Yeah, seems pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and add this up. Git commit. Typo fixes. I think that's all it was for that git push. Oh, push. Okay, cool, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the Polymarket algorithm trading we've been kind of looking at here. Maybe we'll clickbait our title next time and get a lot of people in here and see if that works. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.